mounted this up, I used carriage bolts so I can loosen them and move the brackets in and out. I think I got them really close to perfect. But this tank with the gauge on that side is hitting this bar, so I might have to move this one a little bit, and that's gonna suck because this is almost like perfectly straight across with the line from the ECU, so that's gonna kill my OCD for a little bit, but they are adjustable. So that being said, now we can use, I still have to take that valve off and remove the siphon tube, but pretty much basically we're pretty set. We can use that one for the air tank and this one for the nitrous, and or vice versa. I think I'm going to use that one for the air, so he can reach this one. He's not going to have to reach that one. But yeah, it's starting to look good. All right, what's happening, everybody? So this week has been a real bummer. It's been super hot out. I did get the shelf wrapped up. I think I got some video of that. Went out and bought some carriage bolts, mounted them upside down, mounted the brackets to the shelf, and got it installed. I still have to wrap the bottom piece, but we're mocking up air ride. I've got all of the wires and ECU and touchpad and everything all set up. I do have a couple of soldering irons for, I don't like electrical connections, so I'm gonna solder and shrink wrap if we end up having to cut lines and everything. I mean, I know we are, because the height sensors come with a generic length of wire attached to them, and they're super long, so we won't be needing all of that. So I'm going to do it the right way, trim the wires down to where they need to be, and then I will solder and heat shrink them. But I think that's what we're going to end up working on tonight. I have to wait until it's 9 o'clock right now. I've got to wait until the sun goes down to even function around here right now. We'll try and get as much done as we can. I'll try and capture as much video as I can. It's going to be kind of boring because it's just running wires. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Sergio with Carbonetics literally just made a complete one-piece side skirt and door trim in carbon fiber. I think that would look sweet. But let me know what you think in the comments. Should I add more carbon fiber? I've got a lot of carbon on the car already. With the hood, the hatch, the lip kit. I got the fog light bezels in the front. I've got the forged carbon wiper cowl. I've got the window deletes. I've got the airbag delete tray, the AC vent bezel, the AC control bezel, the radio bezel also with the full center console, e-brake, and armrest. And then I've also got on the far left the fog light and mirror bezel also. So there's a ton of carbon fiber on this car. And I believe when we get it, and it might not be right away, but when we get the diffuser for the back, I believe that's carbon also. So yeah, there is going to be already a ton of carbon fiber on this car. and the side skirts and door panels, or door trim on the bottom is going to be like $1,100. That being said, I could get the cams and the springs and retainers for $1,100, or the intake and the charge piping and everything all done for $1,100. I think I'm only about probably, I don't know, without the carbon. And another thing, I wanted to get the carbon fiber mirrors. So I'll have a triangle of carbon fiber right here with a carbon fiber small mirror. So there's a lot of carbon tying everything together. And it's $1,100 for those 2 extra pieces, which I really like the idea of putting those on. That might be after I deliver the car. But I really got to do something in this engine bay. I have got a ton of money and work to do in there, because I don't have the intake that I want. I don't have the cams. I don't have the exhaust downpipe or test pipes. I don't have any of the, I have the intercooler piping. I just don't have a bandsaw to trim it, or a aluminum TIG welder machine. I only have well, mine doesn't do aluminum, I don't think. But I got a ton of work to do, and to get all this stuff all squared away, and I've got about a month and a half, and I can already see that it's not going to happen. Especially, I don't have an income right now, so I need, at bare minimum, another $8,000 to finish this project. At minimum, probably closer to 10. I don't know. We're gonna try and get everything done that we can without spending any money now. I've got a few parts around here that I still have yet to finish installing, or like I said, I still got to put the air ride all together, got to wire in the computers, I got to finish wiring in the motor. I got charge piping to do. If I can get a bead roller, I'll probably just cut it all up and use the silicone connections. There ain't nothing wrong with that. They're all blue. I really don't have any blue going on. I guess it'll match with the graphics and the roll cage. So that'll be all right. I still need to wire in, or fit in, make brackets and fit the oil cooler. And I have a trans cooler that came on the car. I'm gonna trim up those hard lines and bend them to where I can use that on this side of the bumper and the oil cooler on the other side of the bumper. And so pretty much basically I need, at bare minimum, that's not going with cams or intake or anything else, I need graphics, I need fans for the radiator because mine won't work with that turbo there. I need to buy a oil feed line for the turbo and an oil return line for the turbo for the high heat. There's this place called J&G Aircraft down in, I believe they're in Ontario. I'm not sure. They're down the hill somewhere. And I'm going to have them do some feed and drain lines for the oil to the turbo. And then I need to figure out, I need to buy a new cam angle sensor. And I have to find out some way of running a throttle cable, because I took all the cruise control out of this, So I need that. So, and then I need a fuel system, which would consist of AN fittings from the tank to the filter, from the filter to the air adjustable fuel regulator, to the to the rail, and then from the rail back to the tank for the return, I believe. But not only that, but I have got to get a whole bunch of vacuum lines and stuff in there, and water line as well, to plug up or loop the systems that I have already gotten rid of. But I sure am talking a whole lot, and we ain't getting nothing done with me talking. So I am gonna try and start at least laying out all of the air ride ECU and everything. I've got a nice little paper here that pretty much gives me all of the it keeps on turning. Alright, I got a nice little paper here that tells me where everything goes and how to wire it in. I'm glad that's there, because this is what they gave me. And I'm like, oh, oh shit. But that little wire diagram and all the schematics that they give you, I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. There's a lot of little things going on in that wire harness, and I'm gonna make sure that I tape it all up. And I bought some more, I don't know where it's at. I bought some of the smaller wire loom. I'm gonna make it all pretty and cover it all and protect it and all of that. Slide it underneath the carpet, and then I gotta tack down the carpet, make seat mounts, and yeah, I got a ton of work to do in just over a month and a half. It's July 10th. Man, I don't know. July 10th, and my son's birthday is in August 20th. I don't know. I'm gonna try my damnedest to see how far along I can get this thing. I still need axles. I still need a lot. And it's getting a little bit stressful because I really, really wanted it to be for his birthday this year. But I am not there yet. I still need to cut and buff and then get the graphics on. And I don't know how long that's going to take. Probably a couple of days at least down in San Diego, which means I got to rent a trailer twice to get one down there and to get one back. And then I got to tint all the windows. Yeah, oh my God, I got so much to do. But I'm going to stop yip-yapping, and I'm going to try and get something done tonight. So if I get into something a little interesting, I'll make a little time lapse of it. looks good. Looks so good it freaking disappeared. Can't even tell that it's all locked in place now. Now, unfortunately, because that's such a pain in the butt to get on and off, I'm going to have to take the nitrous tanks off and remove the top lid when we go to wire up the ECU and the height sensors and everything. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal. It's way easier to remove the top one than that face board right there. And being that there's going to be seats here and everything else, you won't see these carriage bolts, but I figured that they looked nice enough to where that doesn't look all that bad. But now I've started to run the wire harness for the ECU and the air ride suspension, or the air ride air management system. Man, this thing is in depth. This purple wire goes to the headlight so that the touchpad automatically dims when the headlights come on. This yellow and orange wire go to, actually it's not an orange wire, I'm looking at it in the sun, it changed the color. It's a yellow and a red wire. They go to the air compressor relays. That orange wire goes up for a 12 volt key on, 12 volt ignition. And then there is a pressure switch. I don't know if you can see it, it's up there, kind of tucked in the hole right here. That is for the pressure on the nitrous tanks. All right, now I still have to hook up this ground, so I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I've got pretty much everything all connected. We want to see if the ECU will light up and start doing its thing. And I really don't know if it will, because like I said, I still need to attach a ground. And the pressure sensor and stuff. Oh, that's not a very long cable. Let's plug in the ECU first. All right, let's see if it does anything. It might not, because like I said, I still need to hook up that one ground. Oh, it's doing something. But it didn't kick on the compressors. Man, but it's getting closer. I gotta do a little bit more investigation. I'm gonna take my multimeter, I'm gonna test between the battery and the ECU over to the compressors. If I don't have power between or to both of those, that doesn't mean the ECU is bad, that means the relay is bad. Jump these two wires without going through the relay just to see if the compressors turn on, because I want to know, I want to make sure that the compressors are grounded properly and everything's good. So I can hear that both of the compressors are working. So I'm going to plug that back in to the relay. And that means that the computer, it might be the pressure switch. I don't think it's the grounds because I hooked up a bunch of grounds real quick. So pretty much basically the computer is not telling the compressors to kick on. That or I got a bad relay. And I don't think it's a bad relay. I think it's just something's not hooked up right and telling the computer to run the compressors. And I think it might be the pressure switch, I'm not sure. Well, being that we're going to use this nitrous tank as our air tank, I've got most of the air right all cleaned up and mocked up. I still have to put in a pressure switch and a air trap, and I still have to get the fitting for the nitrous tank to connect to the air lines. So what we're going to do real quick is I've already pulled the gauge off of this. I got to get a regular air gauge instead of a nitrous PSI gauge. We're going to get a regular standard air gauge. And then we are going to have to take out the tube inside the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly knock this valve off. I think that's tight enough.